Okay, in this video I want to go over how to control our edge loops a little bit better, how to control the beginning, where they start and where they stop. And there's a couple tools that we're going to use, primarily the pen tool, but we're also going to use the visualize vertex count tool to help us do all this. So first thing we want to do is we want to set up our symmetry axis, and we are interested in the positive X, and now we can come and clip the model so that we're only seeing the positive X side of the model. So what we want to do here is bring up our pen tool, hitting the Q key, and the pen tool, if I hit Shift F1, brings up a lot of these hints, and we're going to be working with all of these in one way or the other. So these are really good to memorize, to have these in your fingers. So Shift F1 to get rid of those. So I'm going to start here. I like the topology, what's going on in this model, but I'm seeing that this pole right here is right on the nasal labial fold, and if this were to be animated, that would get a lot of that might create some tension and pulling there. So I want to move this pole from this point to right up here, maybe move it up a little bit. So if I hold down the control key with the pen tool, that allows us to cut an edge. And I've created two triangles here. So I'm going to show you this new tool called Viz Vertex Count. Is going to be very, very handy in helping us on our project today. So the Viz Vertex tool, if I insert a couple more points, you see that, well, obviously the yellow is the triangles and the red is the n-gons. So if I just click on one of these edges to delete them, so I've created a quad here, but there's still n-gons here. So these, where there's an n-gon, actually stops we're going to put in an edge loop right here, but we want to stop it. So creating a stopper point, this is very interesting. A couple ways to create a stopper point. My favorite way is to hold down the control key, just click on a point, and just flick your brush, so you click and drag right along that line, and it'll put an edge in it. Now let's undo that, and let's flick it, let's say this way. And so now I have a line right here. So if I hold down the Shift key and just click to insert an edge loop, you'll see wherever it hits the red, which is the n-gon, it'll stop an edge loop. So if I can insert an edge loop here, so I've stopped these two edge loops from going all the way through the model. And then I can hold down the control key and draw and connect those two lines, and then hold down the Shift key and it will smooth that out. So that's just the beginning. And then to get rid of, well, first of all I have to get rid of this one, but it's still going to be an n-gon here. So if I hold down the control key, so I've created a try here. I actually want this to go back. So let's hold down the Shift key, create another loop. I actually want this one to connect here, and so I'm going to move this loop down. Now this loop, I think I wanted to continue it all the way up here, so I want to stop it. So I'm going to create another stopper point here by hitting the control key, clicking and dragging, and you'll see it's red there. So then if I hold down the Shift key, click and drag, and just click, and it inserts an edge loop there. Just click on that to get rid of it, and control click to drag there, and so I've gotten rid of, so now this is all quads here. Now this is red, but we don't, we'll have to come back and resolve this later, because there's some certain things I want to click and drag here, it creates a try here. I'm seeing that there's too much density here and not enough density here, so I have to move some of these edge loops around. So I'm just going to delete this for the time being. Come on. And then let me show you here. I'm going to just, so if I want to move, let's say I want to work on this edge loop, and this edge loop. Let me show you something interesting. If I create a stopper point right there, and it creates an n-gon right here and here, and then come over here and create another stopper point right here. I've actually created just 2 stopper points, but it'll affect these 3 edge loops. So if I hold the Control and Shift key down and just click and drag on these, I can start to move these edge loops in a direction I want. So those 2 stopper points has given me control over those 3 edge loops, and then I can quickly go back and delete those stopper points. And then holding the Shift key down, I can move around these edges a little bit. Now I have to come in here and continue to work on this model. I am thinking I need to resolve this triangle somewhere, so I need to run another edge loop down here, and I'm thinking that I want another edge loop running across the top of this ear. So I will I can delete this edge because I don't think I'm going to want that edge, and if I hold down the Shift key and just click right here, whoops, I see that it's going to go through there. So I have to I'm going to create an edge stopper right there, a point stopper. Now if I hold the Shift key down and click on this point, it goes all the way there, and then I can resolve this in a couple different ways. I'll resolve it, let's try to do this, and if I come here like this, then I have 2 triangles, which is very easily resolved by just boom, doing that, and then I can move that point out. And so let me see here. I have I'm going to bring up a very, very interesting use for the pen tool. And if I go to Shift F1, here we want to set edge flow using the Control Shift key. And so if I hold the Control Shift key and just click on this, you'll notice it suddenly selects it. I'll do that again. You see how it suddenly pops up. That is controlling the edge flow of that particular loop. Now with the Z key, when I've done that, the Z key, hold down the Z key, I can click and drag and give it more or less edge flow. So I want that to be nice and round, so I can pump that up. All right. So now I'm just gonna hold the Control key. Now I have so if I just hold the Control key, grab that, and then just hold the Shift key and click, I can complete that edge loop and then complete that edge loop. So it's very clear with this Visualize Vertex Count tool where my loops are. Okay, so if I hold down, well, I have it on Alt X, but you might have it on something else. I think this is just showing me what one level of subdivision will look like, and I can, increase or decrease this, but I just like looking at one level of subdivision as a preview subdivided mesh. So if I do that, I see that, there's more density here, less density here. It gives me a good idea of where the density is. So I have to move some of these these edge loops around. So again, using my edge stopper points technique, I just hit the Q key to go into the pen tool and create a couple edge stops like there and there. And now I can hold the Control and Shift key down, and I can start to move these edge loops around. So gives me really, if you have, knowing where you're how to use these edge stopper points will give you a lot of control over your loops. Now I have when I do a loop, I have a pole right here. Well, that's going to go all the way. Okay, that's good. Well, I can move that down. That doesn't make any difference. So now where there's red, I want to eliminate those. And so now I have an all quad mesh. When I eliminate those, and then there's just a couple little variations. The brush tool, which is like one of my favorite tools. I can just tap that. I want to keep it on 0.01, and I just tap this a little bit, and it'll just smooth out these edge loops. So now that, holding down the middle mouse button controls the diameter of this brush tool, and I can just kind of just tap very lightly and just smooths out some of these points. All right, we're going to get more into the brush tool a little later, but that was just a little preview. So here we go. So I've really only put down like 4 nodes, but you can see here, if I want to see what I did before and after, all I have to do is just select this one, and you can see what was before and what was after. That was before, and that's after. So that's what we've done. All right. So, and then, of course, I can hit symmetrize, and that gives us back our symmetry. Okay. All right, that's it for this one. And so I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot.